Hey, what's up guys? Kevin here from Canadian Card Pickers with another little guide top 10 video. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 most valuable Kaldheim cards. Obviously there's, a whole bunch of different sets out there, but this is one of the more recent ones. We don't really know what Strixhaven will be like until the market kind of settles post-launch, but let's jump into it. So with number 10's most expensive card or most valuable card, I tried to look around and see, a couple different markets and did my best, but it's Alrund's Epiphany. So this one is a borderless card in foil. That's where the value really is for this one, and it's tabletop price as opposed to online. In the market of around 16.58, around $17, $16-17. Pretty sure that these prices are in USD. Why is it valuable? Well, obviously it's a mythic rare. There's the rarity of it and the type of card, the borderless and foil, but it's also, not too bad of a card. Value for gameplay and such comes from the fact that it does let you create two 1/1 bird tokens with flying, and it does give you that extra turn before you have to exile once you've done that. The other option though is it does have foretell. So what you can do is you can exile it from your hand for, I believe, 2 mana of your choice. It's not specific. And then you can use it at a later time. So you would just exile it face down, and then you could pay the foretell cost, which as you can see is 4 of any mana plus 2 blues. And then you could use this sorcery when you want it, when it's maybe more convenient. And then that way, once it's exiled, it's hard for them to do much on it. Moving on is Tybar Kell. So this is a legendary planeswalker. Apologies for the low quality resolution, but yeah, basically it's a planeswalker. You want the foil version of it, and it's going to go for around $17 to $18 tabletop price for it. And its value is that it's just really, really solid in a black-green elves deck. I have a friend that plays black-green elves deck, and this is a great addition to his that particular deck of his, just because it'll help boost elves, which if you have an elves deck is going to be right up your alley, but also because it does create 1/1 green elf warrior creature token, so which then you can potentially boost using its ability. And then obviously you can get an emblem where whenever you cast an elf spell, it will get haste until the end of the turn, and you get to draw 2 cards. So, it's a pretty powerful planeswalker, depending on the decks you play. Not all of these necessarily, compared to sports cards, which you guys have seen my posts about those, the value isn't just in, genuine rarity or, that kind of thing. It's the playability. So that's what makes Pokemon and Magic a little bit different than baseball and hockey cards or basketball cards or whatever. They don't all of a sudden be... No, there is an exception, I guess. If a player is found to be doping, or, some kind of controversy that makes people realize, oh, they weren't really a good player, that can affect price both ways. It's tough to say. Next up, number 8, Orvar the All-Form. So this is a legendary creature. It is a shapeshifter or changeling, whatever you want to call it. So with this one, you want the showcase foil version of it, and it's gonna be around $19 for its price. And basically its value is if you play any instant or sorcery that affects one or more of your permanent cards, you can make a token that copies them. So that's pretty cool. That allows you to kind of stock up on some of your permanent cards or that kind of thing. But the other thing as well is if a opponent does cast a spell or an ability that makes you have to discard Orvar, you can then make a copy of a target permanent. So theoretically that could possibly Orvar. I'm not sure how the stacking works there. Again, I'm a bit more of a collector as opposed to a player, but there's some good ways that you can utilize him to at least not be deprived of him and get something good out of it. So that's a neat one there. Next up, number 7, the World Tree. I have to say this is one of my favorite looking land cards out there. It looks absolutely beautiful. The art in Kaldheim is just amazing regardless, but This one is especially beautiful with some of those pastel, ethereal colors to it. But this one is an extended card that you want to look for, and in foil. All of these are going to be foil, basically, you guys. Some of these cards will have a lot of value for the base card, but the ones I'm specifically calling out are the prices for the foil version of the card. So what makes the World Tree land valuable? Well, it's basically a mana generator. You can tap it to make some green mana. And what it also does is it can make your lands, as long as you have 6 or more of them, any lands that you have will get the ability to add 1 mana of any color. Next, kind of an interesting thing, if you sacrifice it for 2 of every mana color, and you tap them, and I did make a little mistake here. It's not +2 of any kind, it's just 2 of each mana, and you sacrifice the World Tree. You can search your library for any number of god cards and put them into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So this is a great way to stock up on mana and lands at the beginning, and then use it to really make yourself powerful a little later on in the game, depending on how you want to play it. But great way to get some of those god cards out if you've had kind of a bit of a bad draw from the library. Next up, we have Turgid, the God of Fright. This one is it's a double-sided, so it's Turgid as well as Turgid's Lantern. So this is going to be a showcase style card in foil. Its price is going to go for about $23, give or take. Prices will fluctuate with any of these depending on what the market's like. And its value is that you can take control of a non-token permanent after they sacrifice or discard it. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to pay anything, you just take control of it. And what's really great about this is you can combo this with Turgid's Lantern, which is the flip side of this. So you'd need 2 of Turgid, at least in gameplay. I'm hoping you're not, some people play with foil decks. It's interesting, but obviously these are a little better for collectors. But it's cool because if you play it in conjunction with Turgid's Lantern, basically that lantern can do damage, or it forces them to discard a card, and through the ability of Turgid, you can take control of that card. So it kind of forces them into a bad situation. So it's kind of neat for that. Plus it's got Menace as well, which is helpful. Next up, we're going into the final half of these top 10. We have the Goldspan Dragon. So this one, you're going to look for the extended version in foil. There are other variations of Goldspan Dragon that are valuable. But basically what I'm doing is I'm not listing every single one of Goldspan Dragon and that, because the top is pretty much, this Goldspan Dragon and a few others. And I figured it was boring if the top 10 was 2 different types of cards and just their variants. So I'm basically going for the highest priced one of each of these. So the tabletop price for the extended foil version of this is just under $38 at $37.60. The value from it has flying and haste, which is always good. But what's cool about this Goldspan Dragon is it creates a treasure token whenever it gets attacked or becomes the target of a spell. And then what you can do is any treasure tokens that you control, you can basically sacrifice them to add 2 mana of any one color. So that's pretty helpful. Maybe, earlier on, if you're like, okay, I need to start getting some more lands in there or mana, what have you. It's a great way to do that. So yeah, and it just looks rad. Look at that. A very cool rendition of a dragon. Very different style wings. Next up, Asika, God of the Tree. This is also a double-sided card, but it's very much more specifically about her. And you want to find the showcase foil. Again, other variants are valuable as well, but not as valuable as this one. It's going to go for just over $44, $44.26. And its value is that it has vigilance, and it also gives vigilance to any legendary creatures that you control. But it also has a tap ability, which adds 1 mana of any color. But what's cool is because of vigilance, you can attack without having to tap, which not going to necessarily be the most powerful attack. So you'd probably want to boost Asika first. but you get attack and then tap to add 1 mana. So you kind of can get a little bit extra ability out of her. Next up is Coma, the Cosmos Serpent. This one is, when I first was reading it and learning about it, I thought, okay, like it's pretty all right. And then when I was talking to my friend, I said, wait, upkeep. Upkeep is like, this doesn't say at the beginning of your upkeep, it's each upkeep. And he's like, yep. So we'll talk about it more. First, you want the pre-release version of this in foil. Again, other variants of Coma are valuable. Its price is $69.69. Nice. Obligatory. But yeah, basically at the beginning of each upkeep, not just yours, each upkeep, you can create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Coma's Coil. And this spell can't be countered, so people can't stop you from doing that. So when it's your turn, you go through the upkeep stage, boom, there's your 3/3 token. Your enemy starts their turn, boom, all of a sudden they're, playing multiple as well. So this could be really strong if you're playing Commander. I don't know a lot about Commander, but what I know is that you could have multiple players. So that way there's multiple upkeeps. And so you're going to generate so many more. And then since you have all of these, you can sacrifice a serpent, for instance, one of these serpent tokens, and you can either tap a target permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated this turn. So you might be able to stimmy someone and prevent them from, countering something you're planning. Or you can add that Coma gets indestructible until the end of the turn. So, especially in Commander, you're going to have so many 3/3 serpents, and it's a pretty strong card. So yeah. Next up, Valky, God of Lies. This one you're going to look for the borderless version in foil. I believe that the image we have, well, we didn't have the borderless one, but other variants of this are valuable. It's in the top 20. There's multiple versions of Valky, but this particular version, borderless and foil, is just under $74. And what's cool is when he gets played onto the battlefield, you can check the player's hand and exile a creature, or exile a creature that they reveal, and then Valky will become a copy of that. So, and basically for each opponent, you can exile a creature card that they revealed until he leaves the battlefield. And then you can choose to pay the converted mana cost, or you have to pay the converted mana cost for him to become a copy of that card. The flip side of Valky is Tybalt, depending on what you want to play. But we're just, they come hand in hand. And finally, number 1, most of you probably know this one. It's up there at the top list, but it is Voranclex, Monstrous Raider. So there are a whole bunch of different variants of this, but the specific one you want to look for that's going to be worth a lot is the borderless foil. The Phyrexian foil version of this. I'm not sure if there's a borderless one, but most of its variants are in the top 10, and you're going to get the price of it is $246 basically. And it's a cool one. This would be one that you'd want to showcase or put away as a collector. I wouldn't suggest playing this, just because that'll lose its value and potentially risk damage to it. So, okay, what is the value to this, right? What makes this the top card? Obviously, really cool looking, looks super rad. But the thing is, any token effects that you apply to a permanent or a player is going to get doubled while he's in play. And then while he's in play, any enemy token effects to their permanents or a player get halved. So if they're doing anything token related to affect you, you can have that, right? If you're doing anything token related to hurt them or a permanent or whatever, that'll get doubled. So it's very strong. And, if you're playing it with a lot of token related stuff, it'll really come in clutch, I think. But yeah, that is that's it. Those are the top cards. Voranclex Phyrexian foil version is going to be the top one that you want for about $246 is what its tabletop price is. You know, obviously, like I said, all of these prices are subject to change. This is just kind of the current market values for these. They could drop if all of a sudden the meta changes and other cards get introduced that make them obsolete, or they could become more valuable as less and less are in circulation and all the packs are, it's hard to get booster packs for the Kaldheim. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments about how you feel about these cards or cards that you think should be more valuable up there, definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Which of these top 10 is your favorite? I'd have to say one of my favorites is that Coma. That's pretty cool as far as playability, but for what it looks like, Voranclex does look really cool. That's just like a poster of that would be so cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more content as box openings, card pack openings. We do baseball, Pokemon, Magic, a variety of other things. Again, we are primarily a collector space as opposed to playing. So, I'm sure there's some great channels out there that we can recommend. If you want tips on playing, feel free to drop those below if you guys have recommendations to others. But yeah, other than that, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next video. Bye.